Virgo. I want to talk to you about Virgo. Virgo is honestly one of my favorite, absolute favorite zodiac energies. Now, I may be a little bit biased about that because one of my sisters is a Virgo and she's 2 years younger than me, and we grew up pretty much like a twins, which was so helpful to me because I'm a Cancerian. And, I'm all about the emotions, and, Virgos is more about the analytics. So it was very beneficial because, she could say to me, you know what, maybe you want to just, you want to think a little bit more clearly about this. And sometimes I would say, like, you know what, maybe you just want to be a little less harsh, because people can often perceive Virgos as harsh. But in actual fact, I'm telling you, Virgos are like little puppy squishies. You just want to hug them. They're the most amazing people, but they are often horribly misunderstood. So if you've had any sort of conflict with a Virgo, or you've kind of had it with this person, you feel like they're driving you insane, and you feel that they're terrible people, then I want to very, very strongly encourage you to watch this video to really understand the magic of Virgo, because these people are pure, absolute gold. With a Virgo in your life, with a Virgo on your side, Baba, you can't go wrong. Trust me when I tell you this, you can't go wrong. Will you be triggered by them every now and then, and even a little bit annoyed, and kind of feel like you want to, apply the skillet to the skull with a lot of intentional pressure, with the intention of doing bodily harm? You will feel it, but they are amazing people. So welcome to this video. My name is Adrian Nelson. I am a psychic medium, psychic intuitive. I am so passionate about helping people discover and unlock and expand and benefit from and maintain their, highest beautiful life potential. And it starts with understanding those around us. And even with you being a Virgo, you might, even benefit quite a bit from this as well. Or, if you have some difficulty explaining who you are. So in this series, I've already done Cancer, which is my energy. I've done Aquarius, which is my moon energy. And my best friend of more than 20 years is an Aquarius as well. And now I'm doing Virgo, and it's so exciting. So I'm going to share like 5 things with you that you want to know about a Virgo. And this is just, in love, and if you want to, want to be friends with them. And also, as one of my Aquarius friends said, I'm so glad you made this, because now I can send this to friends who don't understand Aquarius, because it's another mind-boggling one. But in this one, we're speaking about Virgo. So in this video, the 5 things that I want to touch, and then I will sort of like elaborate on that. I'm not going to put in timestamps because you want to know everything. So these are just guidance touch points. But the first thing about Virgo to know is that these people are, and this is one of the biggest shockers, Virgos are promiscuous. Virgos are the best lovers ever. It's their attention to detail. They like to serve. Virgos are the best lovers ever. Hanky panky. I'm telling you. Beautiful, helpful people. People misunderstand Virgos so often, and it often means that they lose out on the beautiful benefits that Virgo brings to the table. And trust me, they bring amazing benefits to the table. And if there isn't a table, they bring the table and fill it with amazing things, They are very organized, which a lot of people, they find off-putting and stuff like that. They feel that they're bossy or they're taking over. But it's, it's really often surprising how open to suggestion a Virgo actually is. A lot of people don't get that, Sorry, now granted, their face can put you off a little bit sometimes. Their voice can put you off a little bit sometimes. They can be very direct. So sometimes when it comes to speaking, emails, texting, responding, even not responding, sometimes if you don't really know them well or you don't understand them well, it can seem like they are being sort of like very short with you, but that's not really the case. I can almost guarantee you. Now, obviously, this depends on what's happening in the rest of the chart as well. So this is for Virgo, Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising, wherever Virgo's in your chart. And especially if you ever obviously had a position with Virgo, look at the Mars energy. because that's how we fight, that's how we oppose, that's how we self-sabotage, that's how we withhold from ourselves, that's how we stay in a negative pattern. Look at Venus for passion and love, and these people are very artistic, very, very artistic. And there's a side to Virgo that a lot of people don't see because they're very private people, you know. Something interesting about Virgo when it comes to children and about relationships. That's point number 4. I'm going to talk to you about that. And here's the big thing. Virgos need time to recharge. Virgo doesn't need anybody who's going to be overly dramatic. And, you know, the funny thing is that one of my best friends of more than 10 years is a Virgo. And, you know, I can get very trippy sometimes. And he will just say, you know, my friend, you just need to chill a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're not completely put off by it. Like, for example, like maybe like a Taurus can be like, oh, no, 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 no. This is too much for me. Not going to do that. Nope, 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 nope. Sorry, close the door. That can be very Taurus, you know, which is also an earth sign like Virgo, you know, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. But it's interesting with the earth signs. They've got so many similarities. But I would say almost in a sense even more than the other zodiacs. You know, the other houses, so air, you know, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, Water, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and who am I missing now? I don't know. Fire, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So the earth energies, they've got so much in common with each other, but they're so vastly different. I think of all the elements, they, as much as they're the same, is as much as they are different. Very much so. Because it's like Earth. If you think Earth, you get rainforest, you get, you know, desert, you get barren areas, you get very green, lush areas. And Virgo is quite interesting that as much as they seem to be the same, I honestly, even if you watch this video, I want you to remember that these are guidelines. These are not definitives. And a lot is determined by what's happening in the whole chart itself. But Virgos are definitely not sort of like all from the same cloth. They really are not. They're very unique individual beings. And they pride themselves on that. You know, they will say they don't, but they do. So a couple of things about Virgo just before we get into this. So, you know, earth energy, mutable energy. Virgo is very much about how can we do this better? How can we upgrade the system? But simultaneously, it is also about how do we respect everyone? How do we respect the system? So how do we implement something better and new? How do we open to something better and new? How do we bring about changes? How are we open to changes? How do we implement it? But how do we also maintain the respect and the integrity and the functionality? You know? So you get someone like a Cancer might actually be a good example, or even like an Aries, you know, they see something new, let's go for it. Often with, you know, not as much regard for consequences as a Virgo might. Okay, very, very awesome people. So Virgos, it's a feminine energy. You know, it's a gentle energy. It's a sensitive energy. So that hard shell that you normally see about Virgo on the outside, like they don't care and stuff like that, that is just a way to protect their beautiful, gentle heart. These are the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. If you can be loved by a Virgo, it is amazing. And we'll speak about that at point 4 when it comes to relationships. Because a relationship with a Virgo is the best experience in the world, but these are not the people that move into anything hard and fast. You know, they really take their time. And Virgo is not, they like, you know what? If I miss out, I miss out. You know, if I miss out, I miss out. Like Scorpio, for example, will be like, oh, if I just did this or just did that. Not Virgo. They're going to be like, okay, that is sad, but I'm going to be okay. I'll move on. You know, if you're a Virgo, if you're dealing with a Virgo, give me your point of view. I really, really appreciate that. You know, share with everybody else. Are you dealing with a Virgo? Have you been with a Virgo? They can be challenging people, but once you get to understand them, oh, they're beautiful. And they're actually really not that challenging. They really are not. You know, they're a little bit different, but they're not really all that challenging. Also, Virgo is associated with the planet Mercury, along with Gemini, which is the air sign. Now, Mercury is the planet that is closest to the Sun. So it orbits the Sun about four and a half times a year, in the same sort of Earth year that we have. So Mercury is a very fast-moving energy. It's a very communicative energy, And whereas Geminis, which, like, I love my Geminis, I just love everybody, Once you get to really understand zodiac energies, you really, really love them, And I think with Virgo, they are often so misunderstood. These people also have a nervousness about them. They've got a jumpiness about them. They can be very easily overwhelmed. So instead of trying to be in the crowd and explain to the crowd and that sort of stuff, they would rather avoid the crowd. So a lot of times people think that Virgos are aloof, even though I personally think they are some of the most humble, beautiful people ever. And those organizational minds, I'm telling you, if you've got a problem, you want a Virgo on your side, because these people are able to see and find solutions that you would never even fathom. And it makes such logical sense. And when they love you, they really pay attention. So they will give you guidance and advice that is suited to you. So if 5 different people deal with the same problem, they will probably give them, even if it's the same advice, it will be done in sort of like a different way to work for you. So it's very, very beautiful, They're very artistic people. Like, I really like their art. They've got beautiful minds. They've got beautiful minds. The thing is just, sometimes they tend to have really low self-confidence. So, or they're very private, and they're very perfectionistic. So you will see something that you'll be like, oh my goodness, are you Vincent van Gogh reincarnated? And Virgo may think that it's not the best, but they're great at art and, party planning and just being creative. They're amazing. But they do have this fast-moving energy. And whereas Gemini, whatever comes up in Gemini's mind, they typically just speak. They don't even always realize it. I had this friend who was amazing that, like, because my communication is in Gemini, meaning the way that I think and sort of like the way my mind reasons. And, we would get together and we would just talk for hours, for hours. And, we had this beautiful sexual relationship. And part of our foreplay would be like just speaking for 5-6 hours. And once you really get to know Virgo, and Virgo gets to know you and they become comfortable with you, speaking is everything, and communication goes through everything. Everything. It's not just words, it's everything, And these people notice everything. And they may not even make you realize that they notice it. You will think they missed it. Trust me, they didn't. They did not. They missed nothing. Nothing as in nothing. Okay? And if Virgo comes to you and they tell you, if Virgo tells you they went through a difficult period, they were in an accident, they almost died, they're very emotional, that sort of thing. Trust me when I tell you, those people are cherishing you in their heart because they're very private people. Okay? Virgo would rather help somebody else shine than they themselves shine. That's a helpful energy that we're going to speak about in point 2. Very analytical. And as I said, a lot more behind the scenes, unless, let's rather put it to you like this. Virgo doesn't do things in half measures. They very much, in that sense, they've got very much that Sagittarius thing, that they're either 100% in or they're not in at all. And they definitely have that in common with Taurus. Capricorn will be a little bit more bendable with that, as earth signs. But so what I was going to say earlier on, with Gemini, before I went off on my tangent, is that, which is a very Gemini communication thing to do. So see where Virgo is in your chart. It's very interesting. And it's always whether it's that analytical, serving thing. All right? And depending on where it is in your chart, it can be to your benefit or to your detriment. So definitely go and check it out. I'm putting a link in the description for cafeastrology.com for your birth chart. I'm not associated with these people at all, but they do really amazing, very basic, detailed birth charts, but a lot of information if you're new to it. It's very helpful. So I'm gonna include for you a link for that. And to go back to my story, so whereas Gemini just verbalizes everything outwards, and that's going to add in with our last point, the need to recharge. Virgo internalizes. They don't speak out. Unless you really get to know them, then these people are like blabbermouths. Like blah, 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 blah. You almost can't believe it's the same person. I actually think that if you put like a camera sort of like in a Virgo's house and they don't know about it, which I definitely won't appreciate, but it will be the most amazing entertainment ever. It will be the best sort of like, you know, seeing what people are doing type of thing. What is the term for that? You know, we have the real this and the real that, and like reality television, basically. Okay. All right, and typically dates between Virgo is sort of like August the 21st until September the 21st. Okay. Now, Virgo, it's quite interesting. These people have very deep feelings, even though they come more from the intellect of the mind. Because, a key word for Virgo will be like, I analyze. They're all about the analytics. They're all about the understanding. These people like their list. They like to think about stuff. Something doesn't work out, they'll be like, oh, well, you know. Well, it depends on things, but you won't easily be able to fool or trick these people. And if you do, then you won't get the opportunity to do it again. Okay? Quite an interesting thing that Virgos would often say, something that you'd often hear them say is never mind. You know, if it takes too long to explain or you just don't get it. And I must say they do have a little bit of a personal sort of irk against people that are not too bright. They'll be like, oh, never mind, it's okay. It's going to take too long to explain. It's too much energy, it's too much effort. It's okay, never mind. You know? Also because they do sometimes have anxiety issues, it is actually a good idea to say to them, no, I'd actually like to hear what you say. But then you must mean it. You know, these people are not about, they're not about the bullshit. You have to mean it. If you say it, you have to mean it. Otherwise, don't say it. You know? And they can also sometimes have problems with like the breath and the chest and like the larynx and the sinuses. Those are often sort of trouble that they have. It's all about the nerves, sometimes the expression, you know, the throat chakra area, especially when they internalize things too much. Okay. They also don't get over heartache very easily. So in the same sense, they also don't let people in very easily. I think the only sign that, only zodiac energy that probably can take longer to let somebody in is Taurus. But it always depends on the rest of the chart. Always. You never just your sun sign. In actual fact, I always feel that your moon energy is more prominent. I mean, in actual fact, back in the days, quite interestingly, back in the days, people weren't always that interested in your sun sign, astrologers. They were always more interested in your moon sign, because your moon is your emotions, and everybody has emotions. Everybody just processes emotions differently. You know, so just because you're an air sign, for example, or you're like a Virgo, it's an earth sign with a very airy sort of aspect to it, doesn't mean that you don't have emotions. You just experience and express it differently. Okay? But Virgo is all about the service. In actual fact, it's not a fact set in stone, but there's a lot of research and sort of like, you know, calculations and beliefs and things that are actually pointing towards Jesus probably being born on September the 11th, which would make Jesus pretty much a Virgo. And, you know, when I first heard that, I was like, that would make sense to me, because Virgo would make that big sacrifice for the good of others. Even if they're not 100% sure it's going to work. But if there's a chance that it may work, they will see, you know, they will see it as a worthy sacrifice in service of the greater good. Their hearts are really that pure. Okay? It's just not always that easy to see. Okay? All right, so let's get into these points. So first of all, the promiscuity of Virgorians. These people are hot. Like, they are hot, you know? And they've got this almost like a childlike quality to them, almost like a fairy-like quality, you know? They're typically slender, not necessarily, but the interesting thing is, if you look at Virgo, even if they are obese, there is something about them that is very beautiful, that is very childlike, that is very innocent. They're almost like these porcelain dolls. There is a beauty about them that is it's very unmatched. You know, there's something very captivating about them. And it's almost like elusive in a way. You know, it's like that privateness. It's almost like, I promise you, when you're in the inner world of Virgo, that they have this thing that it's almost like they've got almost like two personalities, but it's not like they're trying to hide anything either. So it's not well, it is actually a very calculated thing, but it's not a malicious sort of thing. Also they realize that they can be very extra sometimes. They can tend to be very loud. It's hard, I know. It's hard to believe sometimes. Virgo can be loud and rowdy and crazy. And, I remember I had with one of my friends, my best friends of so many years, who's a Virgo. I had a photo shoot with him. And it was one of the most fun photo shoots ever because they're so creative. And so that energy is brought into the bedroom, the back garden, the back of the car, the car wood, the wing of the aircraft where they, whatever, like, these people can get it on anywhere, but they won't just get it on with anyone, and there has to be a true soul connection. In actual fact, it's typically quite extreme. What you do find sometimes, though, is that Virgo can, they can sleep around quite a lot, like crazy, but that is rare. That is very, very rare, So they will, give it to you. They're the best lovers ever. But it's also about, their attentiveness, that commitment to service, that wanting to serve, wanting you to be happy. They want you to be happy. It's all about, Virgo's all about serving, And so typically they will take a while before they will, sort of like get intimate with you, because they want to understand you. They need to understand you. Otherwise, they will feel horribly sort of like overwhelmed. And they're very straight talkers. So if you push them, they're going to rebel. But what sometimes can happen is, if they maybe realize that you've got this very deep need for intimacy, they might let you be intimate with them, but then they're very straight talkers. They're going to tell you afterwards, I really didn't enjoy that. It actually felt like I was being sodomized a bit, even if it was a very passionate affair that took place, and we're not going to do that again. And they're not going to be unhappy with you. But they're going to tell you straightforward, sort of like what is what. All right? But, these are amazing people. And, I mean, you can ask any Virgo if they are open to telling you that, is that when it comes to the sensual things and the sexual things and the intimacy things and the bang, bang, bang things, oh my God. They will scramble your brains in the best possible way, and you will be better for it. Those things that people normally say, ruin me for all other people to come after me. That is Virgo. Once you've been intimate with them, it is an experience like no other. It is an experience like you have never experienced and probably will never experience again. Even if you get involved with another Virgo with equal vigor, they've got this very unique sort of personality thumbprint that they put down. Very unique, And don't take these people for granted, because they will put up with a lot of your nonsense until they no longer do. Okay? Until they no longer do. Virgos are very helpful people. They really, really are. Virgo, the moment there's something happening, they want to help you. And they are excellent at helping. Really, really they are. But I think one of the biggest off-putting things for them is that they don't like arrogance. They really, really don't like arrogance. They don't like unfairness. They like that balance. So Virgo's like one of those people, if they see somebody attacking someone else over there, and they feel that it's not fair and the person's at a disadvantage, even if they have no fighting skills and this other person is like all kickboxing and karate, and they may die, they will go in there like a chihuahua that knows no fear. They really will, They really, really will. Also, you don't want to make these people angry. Oh my goodness. The anger of a Virgo I won't say it's not for the faint-hearted. It's not for a heart. Don't take advantage of them. When they say to you, I don't like this, I don't appreciate that, take them to heart. Because what typically happens is, they're very kind. And almost very low-key sometimes. So they will say to you, what? With a smile on the face, what, I really don't like that. I think we shouldn't do that. Or can we, it's not really what I want to do. And then sometimes people don't sort of pay attention to them because they think they're just joking or they're not that serious until they lose it. You don't want these people to lose it. Trust me, you don't want them. You don't want to be at that receiving end. In actual fact, I just don't want to be in the company when they lose it, because even if they don't know about your presence there, you will feel that they're shouting at you, or that you just don't want it. All right. And again, with that privacy sort of thing, like they will really think about things, and it does fit in with being helpful because they think about stuff. They don't just talk. And if Virgo feels that you don't value their opinion, they'll move away, but they will actually feel very hurt about it. And they are typically the kind of people that will, as I said, they'll say, never mind, that's okay, and you'll think it's fine. And then they will be very emotional, tell the person closest to them, and then maybe cry in the rain or the shower, that sort of thing, where nobody can see them and hear them. But they typically tend to eventually fall for their friends, to have relationship with their friends because they know them. And also, what they're being, my goodness, sorry. They're very funny people, by the way. Virgo will be able to pick up a glitch in the system. Really. They masterly at it. But they will also, they will carry on and on and on about it, So whereas some people will see a glitch in the system and eventually just give up or move on, Virgo will be like, I have been placed here by the creator of the universe to see this glitch, to speak about this glitch, to stand up for this, to have it improve for the betterment of humanity, and that will mean that I leave behind a good legacy, and that will make me a good ancestor. Boom, boom, boom. You can either agree to the suggestion now, or you can agree to the suggestion later. But agree you will. Where my Virgos at? Where my Virgos at? All right? You will agree. They're very organized people. Very organized people. With that being said, leave Virgo's stuff alone. Leave their stuff alone. Don't touch their stuff. Don't bother their stuff. Don't mess with their stuff. And it's, with the other earth signs, Capricorn, they can be a little bit like that again. They will be a little bit more lenient. Taurus might probably just outright attack you when you touch their stuff. But in that same token, Taurus won't touch your stuff. And like for example, this amazing, incredible Taurus guy came around to my home the other day, and I had some of my tarot cards laying on the table, and he pushed one, and I don't know, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I was like, what for? It's like, I touch your things, I'm so sorry, I didn't ask permission. It's like, that's okay. But, Taurus, Virgo, a little bit Capricorn, not too much. But depending again on the rest of the chart, or even where you have strong Virgo placements. But Virgo is also, they don't like you to mess with their stuff. They got a routine going on. They've got a flow going on. Those people can go blind today. It's no problem. They'll be able to operate. I promise you, Virgo is so organized. Virgo can probably go completely blind in both eyes, and they will probably still be able to drive a car on the highway in peak traffic. I don't know how they do it. They're just amazing. I promise you, I do not have that organization ability. So for me to have the Virgos in my life, it's really amazing because they help me with that aspect quite a lot, and they're not critical of it. They're accepting of it because they're like, I can serve you, I can help you. Whereas maybe Taurus will be like, idiot, can't be dealing with your with your stupidity, the insolence of expecting me to be in your life. And it's important to not take these things too seriously, though. Not insulting anybody here. But let me give you an example, of how organized a Virgo can be. A Virgo would be able to, here's a cool example that somebody actually shared with me. That is something that a Virgo shared with them. They will remind you of things, for example, let's say you say, oh my goodness, the groceries are so expensive in the store. They will say to you, but did you know that this other store, which you might think of as an electronics store or a furniture store, that sort of thing, they also sell this and this and that. And if you do it like this and this and that, it can cost you so much and so much and so much. You can do it like this and this and that. And if you do it like this and this and that, that's Virgo. They like a walking internet, like a walking encyclopedia. They can really see opportunities. Going bankrupt is not really a Virgo sort of thing. And if you're not good with money and things like that, and you can deal with the occasional Virgo vibe, which can be quite a lot to deal with, then they're good to have in your corner. Also, to give you an idea of how organized Virgo is. So, multitasking is 100% not something that I can do. Not at all. Okay? And so I personally, things that even like that would be, in my Canceri energy, normal things that will be not so challenging for people can even be challenging for me. Like, like driving with like a stick, like gears. Those things can be challenging for me because you have to drive, you have to watch, you have to think, you have to listen. For Virgo, that's nothing. Okay? It's nothing. It's normal. So, to give you an example of how intellectual these people are. So back in the days when you used to get those bubble televisions, the one, for those of you who don't know, you don't always have flat screens. You had the flattish screen in the front, and then you had this big sort of, mechanical part in the back, like a globe sort of thing, like a light. So we had a television, and then the television blew. And then I took the thing apart, and I touched somewhere, and I literally shot myself halfway to death. Like literally. And then my sister, who is a textbook Virgo, she goes and she says, okay, let me have a look at this. So, and that's Virgo. They don't know what's wrong, but they will find it by seeing what is not in alignment with the pattern, with the flow, And so she took this whole like a whole television apart, these tiny little pieces, and she said to me, don't move a single thing, because if you move something, I won't know what is where. And of course, I moved something. My sister lost it. She blew up in my face. These people can go from 0 to 1 trillion billion in a split of a second. Especially if they told you not to do it. And then eventually she was like, okay, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. This is Virgo. I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to have my tea. And by the time I get back, you better remember what you moved. And she told me you moved 2 things. So she doesn't know what I moved, but she knows that I moved 2 things. That's Virgo. And thank goodness I eventually remembered. And then this is the beautiful thing about them. Once the problem's resolved, once you apologize, they chilled again. They're not the people that are typically going to walk around angry all your life. In actual fact, when you are in a Virgo's heart, they will sometimes put up with things way too long. They really will. Okay? Because they'll be like, I understand everybody makes mistakes and all that sort of things. Okay? They love their lists. They love their thinking and rethinking, analyzing, reanalyzing, that sort of stuff. So by the time Virgo begins to speak, trust me, they have thought about it. And if you can add a fresh perspective to something, it is like an aphrodisiac to them. Oh my goodness, I didn't think about that. But you're not going to make them feel stupid. That's not going to work for you. All right? But in the same token, if they already said something and you try to be all clever and repeat it in a different way, they're not going to respect you for that. Okay? Because they're going to feel that you don't respect them. Funny enough, and that's a good reminder for Virgo, you see that teddy bear there in the back? I actually bought myself that teddy bear to remind myself to chill it out a little bit. And that's the one thing about Virgo, chill it out a little bit. They like practical gifts, all with the organization. And also, don't take advantage of them. But I used to... I remember when I had this corporate job, which I didn't like at all. One of my friends in the office was a Virgo. And, my stuff can typically be very all over the place. So I don't like dirt, but I mean, even if I look at my desk, there's like a book and an iPad and my ID over there and like a journal, and there's all sorts of stuff over here. Now, that's not going to work for Virgo, So this friend of mine would come around and they get to know you really, really well. So you wouldn't even notice it. He will just move things around. And when he leaves, the desk is all nice and clean, And it was quite funny. I was working at this one other job that I had as well. And my manager was a Virgo, and one of my colleagues was a Virgo as well. So what we would do is we worked in a hospital at administration side. So there's a lot of admin, and it's always good when everything is in its place because the pace is quick. And hospital things can go from chill to extreme very quickly. So Yeah, like if all the pens are laying like this, we will just move it like that. And then they will come around, they will talk to you, and as they talk, they will just move it back. It's like they don't even notice it. So we would have so much fun with them. Relationships. You can't get a better relationship than a Virgo, I promise you. These people give everything. Don't take advantage of them. Virgo will often stay way longer after they were meant to leave. Way longer. You know? They won't just leave, honestly, but when they leave, they're gone. And they leave with peace. You know? But if you're really going to do them wrong, they're not going to lay down for that. They're going to take you on. Okay? So these people, Virgo is typically that energy of, they are not fighters. They won't start a fight. They will try to resolve everything with as, in as amicable a way as possible. But if you're going to come out all guns blazing, Baba, you better be prepared for what's coming your way. You better be. Relationships. They can have a very practical approach to relationships, but they're also very light. It's, in actual fact, being in a relationship with a Virgo is probably one of the most calming and not relaxing, assuring sort of experiences. They will notice something going south before you even have the slightest inclination. They're very good at keeping tabs on things. They're good team workers. But that doesn't mean that you should put everything on them, because eventually they'll get tired of that. They will do it, but they will get tired of it. So by the time Virgo says to you, listen, I don't like this and that, you must know that it's almost like me as a Cancerian blowing up in your face like a tsunami. Do not mistake them for, just talking softly. And when they speak very softly, and they say, listen, I want to talk to you about this, it's because they want to resolve it, even if it sounds critical, and they sort of like take your side and say, I don't like this. I don't want us to do this. I want us to change that. Can we talk about this? Why do you do it? That is the time you want to talk about them, because the next step is leaving you. They are of service, but they're not going to let themselves be taken advantage of forever. Oh, no, they don't. Okay? They take quite a long time to commit in a connection, probably more than most. And here's the challenge with Virgo. If Virgo experience true love in their life once, the box is ticked. They don't typically feel the need to have it again. That's just something to know. And also for them, being sexual, being intimate, as much as they can be promiscuous, they prefer to be that freak with one person. They can be incredibly emotional. Incredibly emotional. Once you see past that shell, that can sometimes be more of a facade than anything else. They're not cold people. Once you get on the inside and it doesn't work out, it feels to them that they failed. It's horrific. And they can really, really fall apart. Virgos typically, and as I said, they can stay in a situation that doesn't work. Virgo can stay in a non-working relationship to the point that they give themselves 4 or 5 nervous breakdowns. Honestly. But when they're done, they're done. But it takes them a while to get there. So they do take a while to bond and to connect and to say yes to a relationship. And they would rather lose out on a bad relationship than, on a good relationship, than rush into a bad one. All right? But once a Virgo decided they want you, my people, listen to me. If a Virgo decided they want you, just be with them. Because when these people pursue you, they pursue you hard. And they've got no intention of giving up. When they realize that I want to be with you, they will cross the ocean for you. They will cross the ocean for you. They will come and bring back the moon. And I don't know how, but if Virgo needs to get you the moon, they will find a way to get you the moon. The actual moon. They're quite amazing people. They're quite capable. They're quite a force to reckon with, more so than most people realize. Also, again, with the practicalities, more often than not, it's not a rule of thumb, but more often than not, Virgo will have one child, especially when they're a single parent, or they're with a partner that they maybe can't, they feel they don't know if they can trust this person, but now already in it. Because at one child, they understand I can give you everything. But more than one, it might be too much, and I have to skimp on you. So even in love, they're very practical about life, which is actually something I love about them. Also, Virgo typically has an idea of what a perfect relationship resembles to them. And then they go about in the world looking for that person. So in that sense, they can be very set in their way, which means they can get exactly what they want, but sometimes they can be a little bit to their detriment. You know, they can be a little bit unbending sometimes. Okay. And then also, very importantly, so importantly, these people need time to recharge. They need time to themselves. So they want to have a partner, they want to have a friend, they want to be with you, they want to spend time with you, but they need time to themselves. They're also quite prone to things like headaches often, you know. Sometimes they don't eat. They can really make themselves sick, you know. So they need that time for all this mental stimulation going on. Remember, Mercury going around the sun, about 4.5 times, you know, orbits in what equal to Earth orbit. So life is very fast for them. It gets very exhausting, which is typically why they're usually more slender, you know. And again, even if they're obese, even in the facial features, they will still be slender. And there's a beautiful ageless thing about these people. They just are, you know. But they need the time to recharge, typically in some darkness, to practice their art, to do something. Especially when they give so much, they take on so much of other people's energy that it can be draining to them. And there can often be those senses of inadequacy, the anxiety, the self-questioning. And if they don't get the time to recharge, it can start to go into self-loathing. And then that self-loathing can actually become loading towards you. All right? So you have to give them time. They will communicate to what they need. If a Virgo stops communicating to you what they need, then they need to find a way to get away from you. Okay? So that is all things Virgo. Beautiful, beautiful people. Honestly, one of my favorites. Let me know what you think about Virgo. Where in the world are we connecting from? You know, I'm in South Africa. Who's your Virgo? Are you a Virgo? Look at the other videos that I've done so long, Cancer, Aquarius. I'm putting the links for them in the description. And let me know what you think. I look forward to connecting with you on the next video. From my heart, namaste, love and light.